These are my favorite neighborhoods under 500,000 around Charlotte. Charlotte has grown incredibly fast over the past decade. Areas that used to be considered entry-level neighborhoods are now pushing well above 600,000, but there are still a handful of neighborhoods where buyers can find great homes under 500,000, and more importantly, areas that still have long-term upside. Today, I'll be walking you through 5 of my favorite neighborhoods around the Charlotte area where buyers are still finding strong value, and why these areas are getting attention right now. If you're shopping under 500,000, we will be valuing nearby amenities, commute to Uptown, and of course, the home itself. Let's start with the neighborhood closest to Uptown that we'll be discussing today, Windsor Park. Windsor Park sits just east of Uptown and close to 2 of the city's most popular neighborhoods, Plaza Midwood and Noda. The reasons buyers like Windsor Park is simple: proximity. This is without a doubt within the path of progress, and if you've chatted with me before, you know I talk a lot about this. Homes in Plaza Midwood and Noda often sell between $700,000 and $1 million or more, but Windsor Park still has many homes in that $400,000 to $500,000 price range, depending on the size and updates. Most of the homes here were built in the 1960s, so you get a lot of mid-century modern homes with larger lots and mature trees, which, if you know me, I'm a sucker for. And here's an example of a home that recently sold for $475,000 with a $10K credit in Windsor Park. You can see it's a nice 3-bed, 2-bath, single-family home that had been nicely renovated. Over the past few years, buyers have been renovating these homes, and that renovation activity has slowly pushed pricing upwards, where just a few years ago, you were getting homes for the low 300s. The location is a big advantage, with being only about 10 minutes from Uptown Charlotte, close access to shops, restaurants. You don't have to go, you don't get too many nice neighborhoods with big lots at this value. Next neighborhood we'll talk about is Sardis Woods. Sardis Woods sits just about 10 minutes further southeast of Windsor Park and has become a favorite for buyers looking for that suburban feel without being too far from the city. Now, many homes here were built in the 1970s and 1980s, and similar to Windsor Park, you often find larger lots, floor plans, and mature landscaping. Prices in Sardis Woods typically fall somewhere in between the mid 400s range, depending on the condition and updates. Here is an example of a home that had just sold for $500,000 in this neighborhood. Now, this is your 4-bed, 3-bath home with just shy of 2,000 square feet, and it is also newly renovated. A huge advantage to Sardis Woods is location. The neighborhood backs up into McAlpine Creek Greenway, which allows for an amazing bike ride or run if you're one of those crazy people. But you're also by McAlpine Park, which has a lot of like walking trails, hiking trails, and a huge dog park. Sardis also sits by the Arboretum Shopping District and not too far from Matthews, which is probably my personal favorite Charlotte suburb. And it means you have great residents, easy access to restaurants and grocery stores and retail. Again, Sardis Woods is another neighborhood that I highly sought after, even for purchasing myself. Highly recommend you look at it too. But for buyers who want a quieter neighborhood with larger lots and established trees while still being about 20 minutes from Uptown, Sardis Woods should definitely be on your list of neighborhoods to check out. Now, let's move north of the city. Huntersville sits along the southern edge of Lake Norman and has become one of the most popular suburban towns in the Charlotte metro. A lot of buyers choose Huntersville because it offers a suburban lifestyle while still providing access to the lake, all while being just 20 minutes from Uptown. You will find planned communities, parks, greenways, and family-friendly neighborhoods throughout the area. And while many newer homes in Huntersville now typically sell for above $500,000, there are still some subdivisions where buyers can find homes under that price point, especially properties in the early 2000s. Now, here's an example of a new construction home that built by D.R. Horner that just sold for $481,000. And you can see this home is huge at nearly 2,800 square feet. A huge draw is proximity to Lake Norman when people are looking into Huntersville, and residents will then have easy access to boating, waterfront parks, and outdoor recreational activities while still being a relatively decent commute to Charlotte for work. The trade-off here is commute traffic, especially along Interstate 77 during peak hours, as things can get quite congested around here. If you're a Charlotte native, you know what I'm talking about. It can get pretty wild, but you still have a lot of stuff at your fingertips here in Huntersville. Now, about 15 minutes away, you have the next neighborhood I'm going to talk about, which is Mallard Creek. Mallard Creek sits right off Highway 85 and about 20 minutes from Uptown, and it is also right by the 45 loop, which makes commuting very easy in this area. And as the university area continues to expand, new apartment communities, retail centers will be built, and you have that new office park that had recently been built right in Mallard Creek, providing potentially even easier commuting. Now, this part of Charlotte has seen significant growth over the past decade and offers beautiful subdivisions at a great value, in my opinion. Homes in the Mallard Creek area often fall between that $350 and $450 price point, depending on the neighborhood. Here's an example of a home that had just recently sold for $410,000. As you can see here, it's a beautiful home with just shy of 1,800 square feet. It's a 3-bed, two and a half bath home. This area, in my opinion, has tons of value because of where it's situated off Highway 85 and 485, but also tons of restaurants all over. And for all my Trader Joe's fanatics out there, there's one in your backyard here. So again, definitely an area to check out. They also have some beautiful brick homes that are selling around that $550K range, which again, for about 2,700 square feet for a brick home for mid 500s, that's not bad either. But anyway, the last area on this list is the McAlpine area in South Charlotte. Now, when I say McAlpine, even people from Charlotte have no idea what I'm talking about. And I think this is criminal because it's such a great neighborhood to be in. McAlpine sits off Johnson Road, and how this neighborhood isn't more well known amazes me, as I think this neighborhood is extremely undervalued. This area is right by all the action and has everything at your fingertips. You've got the nicest restaurants in South Park. You have the Ballantine Bowl, which just got created. Or you can go for a run on the McAlpine Greenway, which offers miles of walking and biking trails and is a major draw for people who enjoy outdoor activity. Now, you have the best of the best all within a 15-minute drive here. So definitely look into this. Now, this is an example of what you could buy here. This home just sold for under $500,000, and it amazes me. Now, homes here were largely built in the 1970s and 80s, and often, again, sits on your larger wooded lots. And even if it's not your style, you have to admit this backyard is pretty nice. But prices can vary depending on updates. Many homes still sell between the mid 400s and the $500,000 range. And if you're looking for neighborhoods around Charlotte under 500,000, the key is balancing location, lifestyle, and long-term growth potential as Charlotte continues to grow quickly. So neighborhoods that still offer value today may not stay this way or in this price range forever. What do you think? What are some areas that you think are undervalued in the Charlotte area today? Leave your comments below. And if you're thinking about buying in one of these neighborhoods or relocating in Charlotte and want help narrowing down which areas fit your lifestyle and budget, feel free to reach out. For more videos breaking down Charlotte neighborhoods and housing trends, subscribe today. See you next time.